Hello guys, yet another video in programming basics. So this thing applies to any programming language. So right now we are learning Python and we'll just create a new file called Indentation, and actually the name of the file is indentation.py. It should be py extension. And what is indentation actually? The first line will just write for Linux users as always, to tell them where the file is located in Python, in Linux, where the Python is located in Linux. So what is indentation? Indentation is basically how the code should be written, or how the interpreter expects you to write the code. So there are some indentation thing, and the IDE or interpreter, like for example in our case we are using Eclipse. So Eclipse actually expects you to use certain things, or the programming language actually expects you to use certain things. So for example, if over here I'll just write a if else statement. So in simple terms, if I talk, if else statement is basically something like if this is possible then print this, if it is not possible then print this. So I hope you you are understanding what I'm trying to say, because right now what we have done is we have told the interpreter to actually run the first line, that is print statement, the first print statement. So I'll just run it, and in case you get a syntax error, this is because we cannot use if else. I'm really sorry. And in case you are from C sharp, you can understand what I'm trying to say. So we get many syntax error, and this is because the interpreter expects you to do some things and to perform some tasks. You cannot simply just tell anything to the interpreter. So for example in Python, the interpreter expects us to follow certain rules. We need the T capital, so it is an indentation, and a semicolon, or if line is required, or in case for example if we just write in a code between these lines, we'll get an error, and the error will be because the interpreter actually wants us to have else statement. So if there is an if statement, there should be an else statement. So there are some rules, and don't worry, I'll be teaching everything to you, and this is quite basic thing, but I would like to tell you guys that we get an error because of this single line, and that's because the interpreter is expecting us to put an else, and even the on line 7 we have to leave these spaces. So there are some things that interpreter wants us to do, and there in programming there is a big fight between spaces and tabs. So if some statement should be in capital, then it should be in capital. If you write it small, you get an error. So that's indentation. And if there is a space, for example in line number 9th, right now the print statement has some space before it. So there is actually quite a big fight between spaces and tabs in programming, and people usually prefer tabs over spaces, because one tab key equal to 8 spaces. And that's all for this video. I hope you have understood.